What's good, YouTube? So today I'm back with my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile, this time with the Primite engine included. Just to clarify, it is a $300 engine for just pretty much 6 cards. If that is not something you are interested in, I do have the budget versions of the Blue Eyes deck. Some people like to spend their money on alcohol, some people like to spend their money on drugs. I do not drink and I do not do drugs. My drug of choice is this Yu-Gi-Oh card addiction, and I am addicted to buying decks. Speaking of decks, I am also going to be posting my Malice deck profile soon as I learn the combo lines. With that in mind, let's just go ahead and jump straight into the deck. So to start with the Primite engine, we got 3 Primite Dragon Ether Beryl. He is one of the best normal summons. When he is normal summoned, he gets us our Primite Lordy Lode to the field. I do only have 2 copies in the deck at the moment. I did purchase 3 over a month ago. I've been waiting for the 3rd copy from one of the TCG sellers. I will go ahead and post them on somewhere on the screen just so you know not to buy from this seller, because they've been going back and forth with me and I'm pretty sure they just never sent the card. They also have other negative reviews on their site, so until I get the 3rd one, right now I have just been playing with 2 copies of Lordy Lode. With Lordy Lode, it gives the deck recursion, and it also gives us Primite Drillbeam. In case you don't know what Primite Drillbeam does, reveal 1 Primite card or 1 normal monster in your hand except Primite Drillbeam. Or if you control a normal monster, which is usually what we're going to be using our Blue Eyes White Dragon for, you can activate this without revealing a card. So we're going to use Lordy Lode to special summon a Blue Eyes. And then basically you can target 1 face-up card on the field, negate its effects, and banish it. So this goes against monster negates, it goes against spell and trap cards. It is basically what a lot of people used to think Mystical Space Typhoon was, where it pops a card and then it negates it as well. Very powerful card. And with Primite Lordy Lode, when this card is activated, you can add 1 Primite card, which is either one of these. Declare 1 normal monster card name, special summon the normal monster, which is always Blue Eyes White Dragon, from your deck or graveyard in defense position. You cannot activate the effects of special summon monsters on the field this turn, so usually use this at the end of the turn. Then your monsters gain 300 attack as well for each normal monster with different names in your graveyard. Also, regarding recursion, the reason why this Primite engine is so good is because of the recursion it now gives Blue Eyes. So if this card is normal summoned, you can set 1 Primite spell or trap card from your deck. Then during the standby phase, if you have a normal monster in your field or graveyard, which you're always going to have with Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can add this card from the graveyard to your hand. So again, it gives Blue Eyes recursion. Then to go into the Blue Eyes package, we have 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon, 3 Maiden of White, 3 Sage with Eyes of Blue, still running 3 Wishes for Eyes of Blue, 1 True Light, 1 Majesty, 1 Roar, and 1 Mausoleum of White. Then we have 3 Effect Veilers, 3 Nibs, 3 Droll Knockbird, 3 Ash and Joy Spring, 3 Infinite Permanents. Then what I like to add for my locals especially is 3 Ultimate Slayers. If you're like me, you lose the dice roll 99% of the time. So I just pretty much gave up and added Ultimate Slayer into the main deck instead of always citing it in, just because I always lose the dice roll. And if you don't lose the dice roll, it can always just be used as a discard or just held on in case you do survive. And if you're going against a lot of Malice and Ryzeo players, I just feel like Ultimate Slayer is such a strong card. Then to round off our 41 card deck, we have Called by the Grave and Bysteel Magna Hut. So with Magna Hut, we get to add a new dragon monster, which is our Ether Beryl, to our hand. If we do normal summon it and we don't get Ether Beryl, you get to banish the card, and then in the end phase, you get to add Ether Beryl to your hand. I did have it 43 cards with 2 triple attack and 1 Prod of Prosperity. However, I just decided to remove those today. But originally my deck profile was 44 cards, or 43 cards, I'm sorry. So to go into the extra deck, we have 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue, 1 Hieratic Seal, 1 Tyrant Dragon, 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and 1 Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Then the other card the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon can bounce into is our Moonlight Dragon, as well as Lightstorm Dragon. Then I still have the access code package in here. I did remove the Crimson Dragon package. I just feel access code just is a lot stronger going second. Line is also really good against Ryzeo because it can just go ahead and take their detonator. Then to complete the 15 cards, we have our Ultimate Slayer package. Few targeted links, target a Malice card, send Guru afterwards, get draw power, get a negate, and destroy detonator with Mirror Logic. I feel like it's just too strong. So I'm going to show you what happens if we just draw Primite Dragon Ether Beryl and nothing else. Let's just say the other cards are just hand traps or just dead brick cards. We can go ahead and normal summon Primite Dragon Ether Beryl, activate his effect, and get us our Primite Lordy Lode. You can go ahead and set Lordy Lode to the field, then go ahead and activate Primite Lordy Lode and add us another Primite card, which then gets us our Primite Drillbeam. So we got 5 cards back in hand. Now we can go ahead and link off our Primite Ether Beryl, send them to the graveyard, activate Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and get us our Mausoleum. We now have 6 cards in hand. We're not going to actually use Mausoleum White. We're going to go ahead and activate Primite Lordy Lode's other effect and go ahead and special summon a Blue Eyes to the field from the deck. So now we have 2 dragons on board. We can go ahead and go into our Hieratic Seal. So that leaves us with 6 cards in hand. We're going to go ahead and keep the Mausoleum, 4 other cards, and go ahead and set our Primite Drillbeam. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. When your opponent does anything, you're going to go ahead and activate Hieratic Seal, bounce one of their cards, send this to the graveyard, and go ahead and special summon our second Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck. That now gives us our Primite Drillbeam and makes it live. So we have a bounce, 1 bounce, and then we have now our negate and banish because we have a Blue Eyes on the field. So with 1 Primite Dragon Ether Beryl, we got that bounce and we have a negate. And then we can also add Primite Dragon Ether Beryl to our hand. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. Let's just say we had 4 other hand traps in hand. So with the Primite Dragon Ether Beryl, we would have had the negate, we would have had the bounce, we have recursion, and more than likely we would have had at least 2 other hand traps in hand, whether that's Effect Veiler, Nib, Droll, Ash. We play a ton of hand traps. So more than likely we would have had enough to survive. Even if they were able to destroy this, Primite Dragon Ether Beryl does state, if you have a normal monster in your field or graveyard, you can add this card from the graveyard to your hand. So even if they're able to get rid of Blue Eyes White Dragon, we can still add it and then kind of still have a 1-card starter. Then with our 6 cards in hand, we would go ahead and draw another empty card. We'd have 7 cards. Normal summon Primite Dragon Ether Beryl, go ahead and use his effect again. Go ahead and thin the deck out and just get another Lordy Lode. And also now with Primite Drillbeam in our graveyard, during your main phase, if you control a Primite monster, you can set this card from your graveyard. So not only do we get another Primite Lordy Lode, we can go ahead and reset this. And again, it is just so good with recycling our graveyard, recycling our cards, and it just gives Blue Eyes recursion that it doesn't have without having the Primite Dragon cards in the deck. Just very strong, and I feel like it just gives it that other layer of getting it from just a really strong budget deck to making it a tier 1 contender and pretty much a top 3 deck. I would say the only decks that are better than that at the moment are Yugioh and Malice. But I think that's all I got for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.